Meet Samuel, a dashing guy who captains a fancy cruise ship at a luxurious resort in the romantic city of Paris. One sunny day, Samuel excitedly asked his boss if he could throw a fun beach party behind the resort. His boss wasn't too keen on the idea at first, but because Samuel had been working hard, he finally agreed, with the condition that the party would end by 1 a.m. Samuel was over the moon with this news. He promised to end the party on time, but things turned out differently. When afternoon turned into evening, Samuel woke up and was surprised to see a lady named Kristin standing on the ship. But wait, that's not all. She had a baby named Gloria, claiming that Gloria was Samuel's daughter. It utterly baffled Samuel. He couldn't remember meeting Kristin, let alone having a child with her. Kristin reminded him they had met at a bar in London where she worked. During their conversation, Kristin asked Samuel for 20 euros to pay for a taxi. Then she asked Samuel to hold Gloria for a moment. Instead of returning, Kristin vanished with the taxi, leaving Gloria behind with Samuel. Panicked, Samuel dashed after her but lost her at the airport. In a state of anxiety, Samuel hopped on the next flight to England. Upon arriving at an airport in London, he tried using a map to find the bar where Kristin worked. In his moment of trouble, he noticed someone speaking French on the phone. Samuel followed this person and asked for help. This good Samaritan turned out to be Bernie. He handed Samuel his business card and extended an offer for a stuntman job. After this encounter, Samuel resumed his search for the bar. Sadly, he found out that Kristin had left her job there. This left Samuel feeling defeated. Unsure of what to do next, he returned to Paris. But at the airport, he realized his wallet was missing. When he called his boss for help, she unexpectedly fired him for partying too much at the resort. This shocking news left Samuel stunned. Amid his turmoil, he remembered Bernie's business card. He met with Bernie and accepted the stuntman job offer without wasting time. Being a good friend, Bernie also offered Samuel a place to stay. This marked the beginning of Samuel's new life in England. Over time, he worked as a stuntman and cared for Gloria as a single dad. Gloria, his little helper and translator, accompanied him daily to work. One day, while filming an intense scene, Samuel fainted. Panic spread, but Gloria knew just what to do. She whispered something to her dad, and he woke up right away. After they finished shooting, they headed home. Samuel bought his own house, which he turned into a playful paradise to make Gloria happy. And so, their adventurous journey continued, with Samuel embracing his new life, his job as a stuntman, and his role as a dedicated father to his amazing daughter, Gloria. That special evening, while they were all hanging out with Bernie, Gloria's ears perked up at the delightful sound of a notification coming from her room. She rushed off with a joyful spring in her step, convinced that the message must be from her mother. But in a surprising twist, Samuel had been sending messages every day, pretending to be Kristin. He did this because he cared deeply for Gloria, wanting to shield her from the sadness of her birth mother's departure. Not only that, but Samuel also continued to send messages to Kristin on Facebook, even though he knew her account was inactive. He held on to the hope that Kristin might one day read his messages. Samuel and Gloria headed to the hospital the following day for a regular checkup. During the examination, the doctor requested a private chat with Samuel, leaving Gloria in the company of a nurse. During this moment, the doctor revealed a heart-wrenching truth. Gloria's time was limited because of a serious illness. Despite her outward appearance, she was battling a severe, life-threatening condition. This news shattered Samuel's heart, yet he remained steadfast as a brave father. After leaving the hospital, Samuel and Gloria found solace in a visit to the amusement park. In a poignant moment, a woman mistook Gloria for her daughter and briefly held her hand. The interaction ended with an apology, but it left Gloria feeling a profound sense of sadness. Throughout her life, she had yearned for a mother's love, which had always eluded her. Samuel could no longer bear to see his beloved daughter in pain as night fell. He reached out to Kristin on Facebook, pouring out his emotions. Given Kristin's account history, he didn't expect a response, but to his surprise, her account was active that night. Samuel's messages were being read, and soon a message arrived from Kristin herself. Kristin invited Samuel and Gloria to meet her at the park the following day in that message. This news filled Samuel with overwhelming happiness, as he expected Gloria would finally reunite with her birth mother. After a long waiting period, the three finally came together the next day. After months of yearning, Gloria gathered courage and invited Kristin to her home. They played together, and Kristin shared a heartfelt confession as the night grew late. She explained she had entrusted Gloria to Samuel because she believed Gloria would have a better life. Although she expressed deep remorse, Samuel couldn't entirely suppress his anger. He longed to confront Kristin but remained considerate, not wanting to disturb Gloria's slumber. Days turned into weeks, and Kristin began visiting Gloria regularly, filling their moments with playfulness and joy. Witnessing her daughter's happiness brought immense contentment to Samuel, gradually paving the way for him to open his heart to Kristin's presence in their lives. One magical evening at the fun-filled amusement park, something extraordinary happened. Samuel, a kind-hearted man, surprised Kristin with a heartfelt proposal out of the blue. He had always wished for his daughter Gloria to experience the joy of having a complete family, just like his friends had. But Kristin's response wasn't what he expected. After a long pause, she revealed she had found another man and planned to marry him. She had been spending time with Gloria because she intended to move to America after the wedding. Samuel felt a mix of disappointment and realization. He understood that Kristin's return was mainly for Gloria, not for him. The following day, they all met at a restaurant, and Kristin introduced her boyfriend to Gloria and Samuel. They seemed to have a good time together, but a misunderstanding happened. Kristin's boyfriend tried to speak to Samuel in English, but since Samuel didn't understand, he thought he was being laughed at. This incident led to a dislike for Kristin's boyfriend. On another day, Samuel shared the previous day's events with his friend Bernie, who tried to comfort him. Gloria, Kristin, and Kristin's boyfriend showed up at the shooting location where Samuel was working. It was Gloria who had invited them. During their conversation, Bernie advised Samuel to prepare for a scene where he was supposed to jump from a burning building. Scared, Samuel asked Gloria to convince the director to let him jump from a lower floor. Gloria agreed to help without hesitation. When she spoke to the director, she exaggerated her father could jump from a much higher floor to impress her mother into staying. The shooting began, and Samuel was smiling, thinking the director had agreed to his request. However, he was informed that he would jump from the 11th floor, which angered him. Despite his protests, he eventually jumped from the 11th floor as Gloria wished. He landed safely, but fainted. Gloria tried to wake him up, but he remained unconscious. Panic set in, and an ambulance was called. Thankfully, Samuel regained consciousness. While he was being treated, Kristin asked what Gloria had whispered during his fainting spell, leading to an argument. Kristin brought up fake messages that Samuel had sent Gloria using her name. As Kristin prepared to leave, it shocked her that Gloria had been listening all along. Later that night, Gloria asked to spend the night at Kristin's apartment, causing tension between Gloria and Samuel. Eventually, Samuel allowed it, realizing the weight of his actions. At home, Bernie comforted Samuel, suggesting that Gloria might need some time alone. It was then that Samuel finally confided in Bernie about Gloria's illness. It deeply moved Bernie, shedding tears for a girl he considered his child, despite not being related by blood. After a few days, Gloria still hadn't returned home, which worried Samuel. Every time he called, Kristin never answered the phone. On the other side, Kristin and Gloria were having a good time together. They hung out, ate Gloria's favorite cake, and did everything moms and daughters usually do. But then, something happened that changed everything. One evening, Samuel walked into Kristin's apartment with determination. He told her he wanted to take Gloria back home, but Kristin said no. She felt that having Gloria in her life made her a better mom, and she didn't want to give her up. She even threatened to go to court for custody if Samuel insisted. The threat did not scare Samuel. While carrying the sleeping child, Samuel told her he would fight for her in court. On the way home, he kept saying sorry to his daughter. He knew he had made mistakes in the past, but he just wanted Gloria to be happy. Unbeknownst to him, Gloria wasn't asleep and heard everything. Some days later, the court trial for who would have custody of Gloria started. Kristin tried to convince the judge that Gloria would be happier living with her biological mother. She said her boyfriend loved Gloria like his child, and they could provide a complete family. Then it was Samuel's turn to speak. He told the judge about the first time Kristin left Gloria. He was initially scared, angry, and confused, but his feelings changed as he saw Gloria grow. He shared everything he did to make Gloria happy, even turning his house into an amusement park. Samuel saw Gloria as the most important thing in his life and couldn't bear losing her. With tears in his eyes, Samuel pleaded with the judge not to take Gloria away. His words touched everyone in the courtroom. After thinking for a while, the judge finally decided that Gloria would stay with Samuel. When Samuel heard the decision, he was overjoyed. He hoped life would return to how it was before Kristin came into their lives. A few weeks passed, and Samuel's relationship with Gloria improved. He wanted to be closer to her, so he became an art teacher at her school. One day while teaching, he received a call from his lawyer. The lawyer told him that Kristin had done a secret DNA test, and the results showed Gloria wasn't his biological child. The next day came, and everyone gathered once again before the judge. This time, they had the results of the DNA test in hand. The judge had to decide. Gloria's custody was at stake. The judge ruled Gloria would be taken from her father, Samuel, and given to Kristin. This meant that Gloria's time with Samuel was ending. If Samuel didn't let Kristin take Gloria, he could end up in jail. The man felt a deep sadness as he heard these words. Once the trial was over, Kristin spoke to Samuel. She said she was sorry for everything that had happened. She explained she had done a DNA test out of curiosity and had discovered that Samuel wasn't Gloria's biological father. The next day, as they packed up Gloria's things, Samuel tried to explain to his innocent daughter what was happening. Just then, Kristin arrived to take Gloria with her. Bernie was there too, to say goodbye. As Gloria sat in the car, ready to leave, she kept looking at her old house. Suddenly, she jumped out of the car and returned to hug her father. With a smile, Gloria said she wanted to stay with Samuel forever. Later, when Kristin and Bernie entered the house to find Gloria, they realized she wasn't there. Kristin thought Samuel and Bernie planned to take Gloria away from her. She got angry and threatened Bernie, saying she would call the police if he didn't tell her where Samuel had gone. Bernie was upset by this threat. He yelled at Kristin and revealed the sad truth about Gloria's health. He begged Kristin to let Samuel spend time with Gloria because Gloria had little time. After the incident, Kristin did what was best for her daughter's happiness. She agreed to let Samuel have custody of Gloria. She even allowed them to go to France together. Samuel and Gloria had a great time, making wonderful memories. Kristin and Bernie visited them once a week. Samuel always made sure Gloria was happy. He promised to keep making her happy for as long as he could, and he kept that promise. A few weeks later, Gloria passed away. Samuel was heartbroken to lose his little girl. He knew he would miss her smile. Even though he was sad, he felt grateful for his time with Gloria. They had created beautiful memories together, which would stay with him forever.